start. So he was on probation when he allegedly, I guess, killed his father, correct? Do you know when or what exactly that probation was? I know we heard that he had put a gun toward someone in an ATM drive-through. Just wanted to know if that was the same matter that he was on probation for.
You know, I'm not sure of his entire probation record, but I believe that was the matter they were talking about that he was on probation for, that just moved to have a preliminary date set for that to have a determination as to a final probation hearing. So I believe that's the case. It was also continued with this new case to October 2nd.
There was no psychological problems for him to appear for his arraignment today, but they're talking about forensics for the defense, correct? That's where the funding's going to go towards?
That's what he had requested. I would anticipate that's, unfortunately, we live in a world where there's mental health issues all around us, and it's not unusual for defense attorneys to be requesting monies to go out and hire professionals. And I think you can see that in a lot of our cases, unfortunately. And in this case, that's what he's doing, and we'll see what happens from there and go forward. But obviously, mental health is something we deal with in all of our cases now.
Yesterday you said there was obviously no threat to the public because it was a family. Does it make it different when it's a family-on-family situation?
I think it's so tragic when something like this happens, and I feel so bad for the family and for the community when something this does happen. It's a terrible event. It's terrible for that family. It's terrible for the community, and I think that once again, people should understand that there are things that can happen anywhere, and it doesn't matter where your zip code is. I mean, things can happen here in Plymouth, or they can happen elsewhere.
And can you speak to some of the efforts that your office is taking to sort of prevent situations where a person is out on probation and then commits a violent crime? Like how do you prevent that from happening in the future?
Well, I mean, obviously, in a lot of our cases, when we have cases that are in court, we're making recommendations to people to go to jail because sometimes that's the only alternative. For whatever reason this individual had a prior case where he was put on a probation and then he was given terms and conditions, which is the norm when that happens. But you certainly can't monitor everybody 24/7 unless they are in custody. And if people are out and released, things can happen. And unfortunately in this instance, and unfortunately for the Paluzzi family, it did. Yeah.
In this situation, they said in court today that Wendy, his mother, had noticed a particular change in him in the last month and that he had been in 2 different treatment centers. Is there any kind of message, I guess, to other families that maybe are going through situations of problems with mental health with a family member, and so they don't reach a situation like this?
I think there's always going to be situations where people notice individuals that may be decompensating, regarding what's happening to them and their families. And if somebody is struggling, if somebody needs help, I would certainly ask family members to go out and get them the help that they need. I think it's a terrible situation. I feel bad for the family. I'm hopeful that, in this situation, as we go forward, people may learn something from this. Like your question just was, how can we prevent the challenges that we face in this world of mental health issues and drug issues, and which are completely unabated in some instances. People haven't been diagnosed. People are on medication. We see it all around us right now, and we as a society have to stand up and do better than that. But I also think that regarding criminal cases, the fact that somebody may have mental health issues doesn't mean that they're not competent, doesn't mean that they're not criminally responsible. And as we go down this road of prosecution, we'll do our very best to figure out this case as we can and see what experts have to say and make sure that the right thing happens in this for the Paluzzi family as well as for the town of Plymouth.
Do you anticipate additional charges? I know there's just the one murder charge right now.
Well, I think it's a fair statement to say that we're still investigating the matter right now. The autopsy, as I understand, is occurring this morning. So we'll have more information, and many times you can extrapolate additional things from the autopsy results. So we'll see what that leads us. I wouldn't say no that we're not going to do that, but right now, obviously, the lead charge would be a homicide allegation, and that's what we'll be going forward on.
How do you decipher what's a threat and what's not? So in this situation, one of the neighbors said they overheard him say, "I'm going to kill you." The half-brother said, "I can't wait till Anthony dies." How do you know when?
I mean, I think that's a challenge that the police have to deal with. Every day there are people out there now, and that's why you see many different police departments have mental health counselors that are going out and responding to scenes with the police officers right now. I think that we have incredible challenges regarding this, and how do you keep people safe with limited resources in a limited community? And how do you focus your resources so they're best used to help the people that you can help the most before they do something that potentially they're going to need to be held accountable for? You know, we need to live in a world of accountability. We need to live in a world where we're helping people as best as we can. And I think that, you know, in this situation, I'm hopeful that as the case go forward, people will learn something from this, and that once again, if you do see somebody who needs help, get them help. And they're probably not going to want help, but sometimes there are ways to go to court, go to police officers, talk to them, make sure that they can be put in a situation where they can get the help that they need, so you're not dealing with more tragedies and more gruesome cases like this.
Thank you.
All right, thanks guys.
Thank you, Tim.